It's hilarious. This is recorded too. It's funny.
All right. I was trying to get like more of my body in this bitch.
Get your body in here. All right, we're talking about TV dads.
TV dads.
So Chris.
You say what? Big body Chris.
What up, though? It's the Patriarch.
What up? First one in person. Patriarch Pod. We in this thing. It's your boy Chris, my homies H, Marky Mark.
What's
Sorry, I know you don't like that.
It's cool. I'm used to it.
I just got Club 937 just in my head, like constantly.
It's all right. It's your boy Marky Mark. What's good? Club 937. Check us out. Yeah, first podcast together. Just did a photo shoot together. First photo shoot for all of our content together.
Yeah, man. Listen, I got mad respect for models and all that stuff that do it professionally. It's not an easy job. I didn't know what to do with my hands, so.
And Henry came in here with the shiny jacket on.
Hey, look, I'm always camera ready. That's
Let me show y'all his jacket.
One thing I learned from my pops is you never know when the camera coming. You gotta be camera ready.
Is that velvet?
Dog came with
velvet with gold flakes, baby.
He
14 karat.
He made a jacket out of MC Hammer old pants. Shoot, my bad.
No, but it's dope to get together in person with the homies, recording our podcast. All the ones we started, I mean, really just been virtually. We kind of had the idea virtually over the last few months. He had a baby in the last year, so it's kind of just like, yeah,
I ain't having no more babies.
Yeah, you know, till that right one come along, right?
No, it's a wrap. Our ladies say this shop is closed. Nothing happened.
I feel you. So, man, what's our topic today? Let's introduce
TV dads. We were talking about our favorite TV dads and what those TV dads meant to us.
Dope. Okay, cool.
So kick it off. Where we at? I mean, it could be any TV dad, right? Like, I mean, so when I was thinking about the topic, right? So I'm thinking about, I was watching Blackish, and I was like, man, Dre is like the modern day TV dad. To me, he's like, I hate to say this, he's a modern Cosby for me, right? And
Absolutely.
and I still got mad respect for Bill Cosby on the TV show. Like, you know, what he did in his personal life, Bill Cosby on the TV. I ain't canceling that. Like, that was my childhood. That's what I looked as a father figure. And now, like, as a man who is a father, like, I'm looking at Dre and I'm like, well, there's some things I don't agree with, but like overall, like, he's my portrayal of like what fatherhood looks like successfully with the family. So yeah, that's what, like, for me, started this whole conversation off. So I just wanted to talk about all the fathers throughout the history of television that we talked about, and, you know, get y'all perspectives.
I feel that.
I agree with you. So like pre-Dre, because I feel like I am Dre. Mine is like the fancy clothes, like the name brand clothes. Like, I am Dre. Like, from Detroit, I work in marketing. I'm the head of my marketing department. They literally brought me in to bring in a little urban twist. Like,
your son is Junior.
My boy, come here.
He's
like
a little Junior.
My son is really
Junior and Miles mixed together.
Yeah, it's a combination. Come here. Like, this is really Junior and Miles. Like, or yeah, okay, bye, go away. Like, my son is the epitome of both of those, and my daughter is Zoe.
Mm-hmm.
Came from the hood. I mean, I ain't quite suburbs, but financially, I'm up there. And my kids experience like the both worlds, like all of that. Like, I encompass everything that Dre is. But pre-Dre, I think the greatest TV dad of all time is Uncle Phil.
See, I knew that was gonna come about. Why are you down with Uncle Phil?
But I think that's also like personal reason too, right? Uncle Phil established himself. He came from the South, established himself as a judge or a lawyer, then judge. And then he took in Will and treated him like his own. And that's synonymous to like my life as well, where, you know, I had those parents outside of my actual parents who took me in, and I was the Will, came from another city. I could have gotten in a lot of trouble, but they got me on the right path. And like the Weavers, for example. Rex is Uncle Phil.
Okay,
You know,
I can see it.
Adrian, Lana, then Doug, 2 boys or 2 girls, 1 boy, and then I'm Will coming in.
Okay, I can see it.
You know what I'm saying? So it was very synonymous, and then they had a nanny, Missy. They had the nanny, and so it was like
they had a nanny in Fresh Prince.
they had a butler, Jeffrey.
Oh wait, they had a nanny.
Yeah,
was that nanny?
yeah, they had like cause Missy, Miss Bernice, she used to babysit them.
Oh, okay.
And then she used to take her to the house too. So it was like I had never seen. First off, 2 well-off Black parents in my life. Both are doctors.
Doctors, yeah.
Both live in one of the richest neighborhoods in the city.
Yeah.
Like, kids didn't know the struggle. Like, we would talk about stuff, we were like, what's that?
Yeah.
Like, so it was like, that was like crazy to me. Like, and then for them to have somebody that worked for them that came to the house and did certain things. Like, I had never seen that in my life.
That's wild.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I didn't even know, like, so in my mind, making over 100,000, like you're rich, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, where we from, 50,000. You
50,000. Well,
you wealthy out here.
Well,
You're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
And, like,
and that's a family household income.
Exactly, that's a family
50,
household income. So that's
right.
way different than what like we grew up with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So like, I remember the first time I hit 50, and I was like, I mean, this is good, this is comfortable, but this ain't what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more compared to what I grew up with, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because even still, like my kids don't know what a struggle is,
For sure.
like at all. Like I'm looking for a car right now, and I was looking at a intro to BMW and Mercedes, whatever, right? It don't even cost that much.
It's an intro. He's
Like,
trying to get you, but you got to pay that premium gas.
You got to pay the premium gas and maintenance and all that. But I looked at it, my son was like, "That's it."
Standing on that.
Like, that's it. He was, I mean, ain't no Lamborghini Ferrari. I'm like, first off, his idea of wealth is completely different.
Right.
Because,
He
you
don't
know,
know that, man.
he don't know nothing.
He does.
But he
He's
thinks
still young.
because he's never had a struggle, and because I work in the media industry, he's been around celebrities and stuff like that. Like, he thinks like, I'm rich. He thinks he comes from wealth. Because, I mean, his mom lives in a nice condo area. Like, he's always been around stuff good. And then because of the company I work for, I can drive a different car. And so he's like, oh, daddy got a different car this week. You know what I'm saying? So I have different amenities. And so he sees me with pictures. He sees me go to all these different things, and I take him to different events. And so he thinks like we come from wealth. Like, one of the craziest moments that most people don't get to live is like, I used to do a lot of stuff with like Herman Moore that used to play for the Lions, wide receiver. And I'm at his house doing a photo shoot and hanging out. And I brought the kids with me, and my son just looked up at him. And, he doesn't know any better, but he looks right at him and was like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, man, I'm almost done. We'll leave. We'll go get I'll take you to McDonald's or something, right? He's like, no, I'm hungry now. And so he just looked at Herman Moore, and he like, make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like, that's not normal, but he doesn't know any better because he doesn't know who this is. He just know like we're in his nice house and daddy working. He doesn't care. But it's like arguably one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. You just look at him and like, make me a peanut butter jelly sandwich. So like, he's grown up. My kids have grown up around stuff like that, and they don't know any better because to them that's everyday life. But to us, never even dreamed of meeting this guy in real life. You know what I'm saying? To later work with him, be friends with him, and be at his house every other weekend type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And so what we consider wealth when we were young, they think it's everyday life now.
Right.
Like their wealth is millionaire, billionaire wealth.
Right.
Our wealth was 50,000. Combined household, 100,000 is unimaginable.
Well, I mean, I don't think as a kid like there was a dollar amount to it, right? Like, because I mean, we look back now in retrospect, or at least I speak for myself. I look back now in retrospect and be like, oh shit, we were poor, right?
Yeah.
But going through it, I thought we had it. Like I thought we were straight. Like I knew we weren't rich, but I thought we were straight. I thought we were middle class.
But the difference is we didn't have exposure. Like my kids live on YouTube.
That's true.
So they see the super rich every day and they think it's normal.
That's
true. They follow all these YouTubers who rent out mansions. I'm like, yo, but he might be renting out this mansion, but he ain't got no furniture. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
true.
You got everything you need in your room. Like we live different from like some of those YouTubers that might fake it, or some of those YouTube people that got like endorsements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And so like even when I've like had like partial endorsements, they like, oh daddy, how you get this? I'm like, well, I got this from that. So like YouTube rich daddy? Like, nah. And so it's just a difference, right? But I modeled after those guys. Like, so Uncle Phil is like my greatest dad, you know what I'm saying? Because he came from nothing and he had something. Even though I ain't Uncle Phil money, like I'm probably more closer to Dre money, minus the Bo, dating the doctor.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I ain't got.
You got Bo with it.
Yeah, I ain't got no Bo money, or no Bo honey.
Right. Tracy Ellis Ross.
Yeah, she's killing it.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you, Collins? Who your number one?
So y'all, Black America, don't hate me.
He about to say like growing pains or something.
Nah, man. Man, probably one of the ones that we just grew up watching a lot was Married with Children, man. So like Al Bundy. Not that he's like my ideal dad, but it was just funny to watch. And like just being like, from Chicago. I ain't from Chicago, but that whole show where that
was it placed in Chicago?
Yeah, it was I think so.
Okay.
Somewhere, yeah.
No, I believe you. I just didn't think about where it was.
But yeah, and he was a shoe salesman and just kind of lived his mediocre life. But it was funny just because of it was just well written. You know what I'm saying?
It was well written. It wouldn't fly in today's.
No, it wouldn't. Like a lot of the jokes and all that stuff.
I don't know.
Seem like kind of sexist and all that. But what's funny though, because he's in my next favorite show, which is Modern Family.
Is he the exact same guy essentially?
No. In this one, he plays like a business owner that's retiring and selling his company to his daughter, who's married to the other guy that I like in the show because he's like funny as well. But
I actually just started watching that for the first time.
Man, and it's just a great show.
And then he has another son. Like I didn't know that like they were all connected in the TV show. Yeah. So like the other son, like the gay couple in there, that's his son.
Yeah.
I have not seen the show.
It's actually pretty good.
It is.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
And so so that's one of my favorite shows. As far as like TV dads, just because like the jokes and just how they interact with their kids is just funny. So that just kind of brings a little bit of levity to like parenthood and all that kind of stuff, man. But it's good. Speaking of parenthood, man, that was a good show too.
Parenthood was
Robert Townsend was a good father. So that's probably my one for Black America too. That was
no, Parenthood.
He don't get his props. Tia and Tamara's dad.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember his name, but he don't get his props either.
Tim Reed.
Yeah.
Tim Reed.
And he's actually in real life. He's married to the second Aunt Viv in real life.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
The light skinned Aunt Viv. He's married to her in real life.
Okay.
Daphne Joy or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Daphne Reed, actually.
Makes sense.
Oh yeah, that does make sense.
Okay. Yeah. But that was a good show, man. The Parenthood, man. We watch that one all the time, and it's kind of like you said, like he kind of had like Did they adopt the one kid? TK, what, teenager? So y'all remember that?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
TK was the troubled youth.
Yeah. So I don't know if they adopted them or just like
I think they
or something like that.
No, because him and Zaria started dating. So I think he like kind of like moved in or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that might be something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a good show.
Shout out to Fajon Love too.
Yeah,
he was the
in
neighbor.
That show. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he was a neighbor that always
was
like
Window.
Window,
yeah.
90s, early 2000s, man. All some good like TV sitcoms that came out in that time. Some good shows.
What's y'all take on Carl Winslow?
Carl Winslow.
He's up there. He doesn't get the credit he deserves to, but he was more like, I think he was too nice sometimes. But I think he
was too serious.
Really?
I thought it was too serious.
I think what I do think about him is I think he's an underrated physical actor. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, like he was really good at physical comedy. Like he used his body a lot to sell comedy. And I think he was super underrated as a physical comedian.
Yeah. Okay.
As far as like acting goes in TV. Sorry, I'm work in film industry, so I look at stuff from a different standpoint since I'm a director. But you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I like him as far as that. But he was a great dad. I mean, only the biggest downfall Carl Winslow had was not once, especially for him being a cop, not once did he ask, where did Judy go when she went upstairs? Like he just let that slide. I can't get over that. Judy walked upstairs and never came back down.
What episode was that where like Judy disappeared?
Listen, man, I don't remember, but you know, Chicago PD, that ain't a good look for y'all.
It was our time to go.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Family Matters is one of my shows though, but I mean, he never really struck me as like. Oh my bad. He never really struck me as like the. Like he never made really an impression on me when it comes to like fathers in TV shows. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it was for me mainly it was Cosby. Like he really sticks out to me.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Like
so top three.
Top three fathers in TV shows. Oh, okay. Let me think about this one. You got yours on top?
I'll say Cosby, the show Cosby. I'll say Uncle Phil. Mm-hmm. I mean, probably Uncle Phil first, then Cosby.
Okay.
And then I probably might have to go with like, and it's a toss-up between these two, right? But they came later, like teenage years, between like George Lopez and Damon Wayans and My Wife and Kids.
Damon Wayans, I forgot. Yeah, oh yeah. My Wife and Kids was the show.
Yeah,
it is, man.
You didn't change the look. You didn't change it now.
Yeah, wow. And so it's been a lot of great.
But I also really used to watch a lot of All My Children. Me and Married with not All My Children. Married with Children too.
Soaps, man. Married, yeah, man. So what's your topic? It's hard, man.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna throw Cosby out.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw Cosby out.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go Uncle Phil. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go Michael Kyle, Damon Wayans from My Wife and Kids. Yeah. And I'm gonna go George Lopez.
Okay. So man, yeah, that's
but if I gotta add in Dre from current, George Lopez, so I'm gonna add in Dre.
Okay.
And stuff.
Right.
Okay.
He got a second string.
And stuff. Okay. All right. So mine would be and like it ain't no ranking order or nothing like that. It's just, you know,
in there somewhere, top three.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So My Wife and Kids. Man, that show was great.
It was.
So I like DVR, like, and just watch all the episodes. But anyway.
Because I'm that petty father too. That like,
exactly.
I'm gonna teach you a lesson. I'm gonna crack jokes all day.
Like, what's that?
Mm-hmm.
Funny. Anyway, My Wife and Kids, Fresh Prince, and see, y'all done threw out some options I wasn't even thinking of, man.
I'm gonna throw another one out there, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till you.
Parenthood, I real deal watched that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know? So them be my top 3.
I think he was too PC for me.
I mean, they do a lot of cheesy stuff, but
I might have 2 for y'all.
What's
That
up?
y'all
You
ain't
talking
even
about
thinking
throwing
about.
pops?
Oh, that would have been a third. That would have been a third that y'all ain't even think about. So my number 1 is gonna be Cosby. I think like for me he's a staple.
Absolutely.
My number 2 is Michael Kyle for sure. And then 3 is probably a tie between Dre and who wrote the who wrote Kenya Barris or what is that? What is that?
Kenya Barris.
What's his show? Oh, Rich as or Dead as or something as Black as between the. I mean, they're the
but
same
that is
person.
him.
They're the same
I mean,
person.
it's still him though.
But have y'all seen
I watched a few episodes. I just couldn't get into it, man. It was like first of all, I ain't rich like that, so like I just couldn't connect.
You couldn't connect, yeah.
And then it was just a lot of cussing for like
yeah. I think that's why most people can connect with it because it's Dre, but like he actually got money. Like,
yeah.
But I respected that about it. I was like, this is like the evolution of Dre.
I mean, they had a few. I laughed. I got some good laughs at some of, you know what I'm saying, some of the songs. I just like I wasn't like, you know, going back to the binge watch none of the episodes.
So it'll be a tie between those 2, but the riches I gotta throw in here. I recently started watching Everybody Hates Chris. So
I started Terry Crews.
Like Terry Crews is legit, and I Hate Chris is legitimately the hood dad. Like
sure.
His worrying about the bills, all the jobs he had.
Hey man, unplug that clock. You don't need that. That's 2 cents an hour.
Like he is the epitome of like if we can connect with anybody from our background, it's that one.
Yeah, you definitely probably most mirrored some things with my dad personally.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Even some of the styles of like me being the father that I'm like thinking about, like that whole being cheap and frugal. No, for sure.
That's me all day.
And then my second wrench is technically he wasn't a father, but he had kids. Bernie Mac.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I like Bernie Mac. I think his show was a little bit overrated for me.
Overrated?
That's
just a smidge.
That's an unpopular opinion.
It was good.
Very unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna stick to my gun.
Overrated?
Just a tiny bit.
Why?
I just think it was.
No, you gotta have a fact. You
I
gotta
don't have a fact. I just do. It just wasn't as great as I think it shot him to superstardom. Well, Kings of Comedy shot him to superstardom, but I think his show solidified it.
Mm-hmm.
But it just wasn't like the grain for me.
It was a great show, man.
It was a great show.
No doubt. But you know, like I can't connect with that. What is it called? Black as fuck.
Yeah.
I can't do it, man. But you know, it's all good. Everything ain't for everybody sometimes. So, but yeah, so you said those are your top 3.
Top 3.
What would you say is like, you know, like the whole on the flip side of that, like other shows like Full House and those kinds of shows, like
from outside
Brady
of our
Bunch.
race?
Yeah, like Brady Bunch and all those kinds of things. Like what?
Like where the father figures from there that I respect.
What do you think?
I'm sure I got some.
I mean,
you know,
being real, like
they don't stick out as much.
Yeah.
I would say Alan Thicke on
Growing Pains.
Growing Pains.
Oh, so you went old school.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Well, honestly, if you want to be straight up, the 3 that really stuck out, and not all of them were dads, but the Full House group. Like,
yeah. I would probably. I mean, that's probably
Uncle
if I had to
Jesse,
connect with
Uncle
anybody,
Joey,
it's all of
Dan.
those male figures. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, because they was like best friends, and they all stuck together just to raise a group of girls, and then then Uncle Jesse ended up having his twins.
Yeah.
And they all just raised them together.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, who you
I already just kind of said mine earlier. I was married with children and Modern Family.
Well, let's transition into movies.
Okay.
like what movie displays like that dad? Like what's that dad? What movie is it? Who's the person? Like for me, hands down,
Movie though?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like that's
that story's crazy. Chris Gardner, you know.
I mean, just like the whole connection with his kid though. Like when I imagine fatherhood, like imagine like the kind of love that I would have for my child. Like that is what I was picturing. Like even now, I tell Pauline, like, look, you can leave. I'll be a single father.
What?
Like I cry in the subway.
How was this coming up in conversation?
Right.
Nothing's
okay,
going,
man?
Nothing's going wrong.
I
just bring it up.
You need a drink, brother.
I just be like, I'll be okay as a single father. I'll be trash, but no, it comes from the movie though. Like I think like his connection with his son in that movie was, I thought it was dope. And even if it was like fiction or if it was based on the true story, like that kind of love, the things that he was teaching them through his struggle, like that's just what I imagined life to be like. Fortunately, it's not that way. Like I ain't gotta sell whatever that machine is
right
to people to make $1.
Brain scanner.
And my wife ain't Zoe. Was that Zoe?
No, that was Andy Newton.
Oh, they look alike to me.
They do.
Not that much.
They look alike a little bit. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Because of my martial arts background, one of the fathers, or should I say grandfathers that I cherish, is the grandfather from Three Ninjas. He raised 3 badass grandsons.
Mr. Miyagi?
No, fool.
Oh.
That ain't Mr. Miyagi.
It wasn't Mr. Miyagi?
No, that ain't Pat.
Who was it?
I don't know his name. I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah, Google it.
No, I Google it. You continue your story.
But I thought he was a dope granddad. That ain't Pat though. That's a different dude.
Sure.
Positive, man. I know my granddad.
Regular Three
Y'all
Ninjas
racist.
or Three Ninjas Kickback?
Y'all trying to say that's the same granddad. Y'all trying to say all Asian people look at?
Nah, bro. Some of them just don't be making it.
Oh, Victor Wong?
Oh, is that who it is? Really?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
y'all racist.
Really?
Stop racist. Stop the Asian hate.
I mean,
I'm an ally to your Asians.
It's an understandable mistake. But anyhow, so you got 3 ninjas, the grandpa.
And even though he was trash, looking after his wife and kids, I mess with Liam Neeson too, from an action standpoint.
The one who always losing his kids?
No, man, it wasn't his fault though. The husband was tied up in some dirty stuff, and that's how they got kidnapped in the second movie.
His husband?
No, his ex-wife's new husband.
Oh.
And then the daughter just got kidnapped being reckless in Paris, and he just went and found her.
Yeah, that was her fault.
That was her fault.
Yeah, okay. So Liam. Okay.
That's interesting.
I don't know. I don't know.
Showed no other father attributes besides going to get his kids, but all right.
Okay. Denzel and John Q.
Oh yeah, I forgot about John Q.
I mean, yeah.
He got his son a heart.
Yeah, he did. Hey, but you know what? I don't think, and it's probably unpopular opinion too, I don't think he would have went that far if he ain't had that pressure from that black woman, from his wife. Seriously. She said in the hospital, she said something.
What's her name? Elise?
Yeah. She said something, and that's what sparked it. And he was like, oh, I ain't going home with this. And her being upset with me, I'd rather go to jail. I'm going to get you a heart, son.
Kimberly
Elise. But okay. John Q, I forgot about John Q.
John Q was solid.
That was solid.
Man. Oof. I've been trying to rack my mind, man.
It's hard to think of movies with like fathers or that was based on. Didn't Tyler Perry make a movie with Idris Elba, Little Girls or something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Daddy's Little Girl.
Little Girls, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it was the same plot as all the other movies, just reskinned.
Yeah, movie dad. I don't know, man. I'm struggling to find somebody in that one. I think.
I got one. I actually just watched this documentary. Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire.
He dressed up as a woman just to get his kids back, just to see him. He made up a whole nother identity.
But didn't Martin do that too?
He did. Big Mama's House.
I mean, it was basically
but he was FBI though.
Yeah.
He was on stakeout.
Oh, he wasn't trying to get his kids back?
No, he wasn't.
He set up them kids.
Man, he did have a good one though. And so you remember the movie Rebound? Martin, y'all remember that?
Oh yeah, when he became a basketball coach.
Yeah. So I mean that was a good one as far as
Oh, we missing one of the pioneer best dads ever. Ooh. Furious. Lawrence Fishburne and Boys in the Hood.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
That's a deep one.
That was like a really, really good dad.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so.
Was he Trey's dad?
Yeah.
And he was telling him about, because Trey was punching the air. Remember after Ricky got shot?
Yeah, I remember that, but
I just remember him punching the air all
But when he punched the air, he was at Nia Longhouse.
Yeah. So he wasn't.
Oh, but he was about to do something, and then Lawrence was like, he gave him that monologue, right? That changed his mind?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I mean, I was gonna say
shout out to John Singleton.
John Witherspoon in
Friday. Bang, bang, bang.
Cause man, he was just funny. But outside of that, I mean, he kept it real. He had the classic line in that movie that I can't think of.
Yeah, I was about to say, what is the line? What about Coach Carter?
It was like you win some or you lose some.
But you live to see another day.
He stole that from Boys in the Hood. That's what Lawrence Fishburne told Kufagan Jr.
Man, he didn't say that, man.
He did.
Oh, he did.
That is the line that I was just talking about.
Can't be, bro.
No, it ain't.
Kuba was about to get the gun. He was about to go shoot up somebody because of Ricky. And that was how Lawrence Fishburne talked him down.
But John Witherspoon said, "You think you're a man with that gun?"
I'm telling you, y'all realize that there, like, Friday is a parody of all of real classic black movies, right?
No, it's not.
No,
oh my goodness.
You thinking it don't be admits.
No,
right.
No, that is a satire.
What's 3 rules in my house? You bring one home first.
I'm telling you, man, it's the truth. Watch Boys in the Hood. I guarantee.
We gotta look. So we gotta do some fact checking.
We gonna next episode we have it all together.
I guarantee Lawrence Fishburne say that. What else did he say in the movie then?
I mean, he was talking about.
He introduced gentrification in black film.
Yeah, he was talking about that. He was talking about being a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't remember that, do you?
I don't. I remember what he said to Ricky. No, not Ricky. Whatever Cooper Gooding Jr.'s character's name was. What was his name?
Trey.
Whatever he said to Trey.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna take that.
What else y'all got? What other movies? Fathers? TV shows? Cartoons?
Okay, so yeah, let's go down the cartoon route because there's a lot of them.
Cleveland Brown?
Nowadays.
I wasn't going off
that one.
I mean,
so like kids shows.
He raised a few degenerate turtles, made them into heroes.
True, very true.
That's true.
No,
it's digesting. It's digesting.
Don't be fired on the podcast.
It's digesting.
Sensitive mic right here.
Right.
But so like my kids are all 6, 3, and 1, almost 2 and 4. So they're young. So we got a lot of Disney Junior, Nick Jr. PBS stuff, but it's one funny show that kind of just came out, I think probably a couple of years ago. That's from Australia, called Bluey. So like it's this family of dogs, right?
I was watching this.
Put me on game. What you got?
Put you on game.
Yeah, I'm listening.
So like you know how like they make movies now where it be having like some adult references in there and stuff like that. Well, like this cartoon has like some kinds of adult jokes in it too, which is cool because it's actually pretty funny. And then the kids love it too. But yeah, it's called Bluey. It's like this little family of dogs. And yeah, it's good. Check it out, man. Disney Plus.
Bluey?
Bluey.
I'm not watching that.
Bluey.
I
mean, you don't have to watch it.
Let's see if Charlie gets into that.
My kids are 9 and 11.
Yeah,
That baby Disney.
Yeah, so
I'm done.
One of our TVs is on like PBS or Disney Plus like the whole time.
But speaking of dogs, or should I say anamorphic cows, the greatest cartoon dad is Goofy.
Goofy. Okay.
Goofy was a great dad.
Okay.
What was his kid's name?
Max.
Maximilian.
Remember?
Nah, I ain't watched Goofy
Goofy
like that.
You ain't never watched the Goofy movie?
Nah.
With Tevin Campbell as Power?
Goofy was too goofy, man. I couldn't watch that shit. I need him to
What?
be more serious.
First off, you're completely disrespectful to Black culture because Goofy movie is one of the greatest childhood Disney movies ever.
It is.
Like, it's more respected in Black culture than Aladdin.
Goofy?
Yes.
It's my first time hearing about some
I don't
Goofy.
know about that one. Aladdin's pretty
Nah.
strong. I don't know, man.
Nah.
You got the great Robin Williams in there. I don't know.
Goofy, a daddy?
Yeah, man. Goofy movie.
Okay, I've seen it. I mean, I've seen the cover.
How you never watched the Goofy movie?
I ain't never been interested in no Goofy movie.
Okay.
But I respect it.
So what? Who you got? What else?
For a cartoon father?
Yeah.
Damn, I had one too. It was gonna be good. But I forgot.
It wasn't that good.
What about Finding Nemo? I don't remember the daddy fish name in that one, but he went halfway across the world, found his kid.
But he lost him twice, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a bad father. He
Right,
didn't get his life together.
Older from Taken.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, he wasn't a good father.
Okay.
He wouldn't be on my rank.
Making it.
Nah.
Okay.
I can't think of fathers. What is it? Stu Pickles? Is it Stu? Rugrats?
I don't know the daddy name. I ain't watching Nickelodeon like that growing up.
You ain't watch Nickelodeon?
No, we was poor. We didn't have cable.
So what you watch?
Whatever came on
The
regular
Proud
TV.
Family?
PBS.
No, that was Disney.
Oh yeah, it was Disney.
No, so WB. Whatever came on WB.
The frog?
Michael J. Frog?
Dancing ass frog?
No, we was poor. We didn't have cable.
Okay. Yeah, I can't think of no fathers on TV on cartoons that I had respect for.
You got respect for.
I can't think of that.
What was your idea?
What for the
Animation father.
Oh, it was. I was just trying to carry the conversation.
But nah, it like so check out the show Bluey. The
Bluey.
dad on there. His name is Bandit, right? So like he be hiding from his kids and stuff, like they trying to avoid him and shit sometimes. So like it's like like a real life representation.
Gonna say it's gonna get your kids some social issues.
But he be teaching messages, so it's cool.
What's the best message y'all done got from a movie? It ain't even gotta be like fatherhood related. Like think of a line in a movie or a message that like sticks out and that's like impacted your life.
Man,
Deep. Look at that thought. So I got mine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What we think.
Yeah, I got you. So mine was Bruce Almighty. shout out to Morgan Freeman, because if anybody gonna play God, at least his voice, it has to be Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
But so I think Evan Almighty, y'all know what Evan Almighty is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the sequel.
Yeah.
Is it called a sequel? Yeah, the sequel. So he was sitting at the bar and he was like talking to God, and he was asking God, like, look, I didn't pray for this and this and this, and none of these things that happened. And God hit him with the okie doke. He was like, yo, listen. When you pray for love or hope or whatever, right? Do you think I just gave it to you, or do you think I give you the opportunity to get the thing, right? So he's like, and then he like points out these like times that's in his life where he like gave him the opportunity and he got the thing that he wanted. And I was like, that's deep. And it's like, that's then like, cause like it's all perspective at that point, right? Like, it's like people pray, or, you know, whatever your thing is, you ask the universe and you want the thing and you expect it just to be delivered, but then you don't realize that like it comes in time, whatever it is. And so you have to go through the situation, and then you look back and realize it was like, oh yeah, that prayer or that wish or that whatever was granted. So for me, that stuff.
Okay. Mine is how I go from goes make that money. Don't let it make you.
You are hood.
Right. Wasn't even nobody daddy.
Right. I said it didn't have to be a daddy.
Oh.
But what was that, Player Squad?
Yeah.
Who said it?
Ronnie.
Yeah, Ronnie. She said it first.
Hey. Okay, why?
I was just joking.
Oh.
Yeah, that one's just funny.
That is funny.
No, but and so like movie lines just be in my head like in regular part of conversation. So I don't know that I have a specific one that like meant a lot to me.
Okay. Make that money. That's the one that first came to mind, so we're gonna roll with it. What you got, Mark?
I don't think my mind is being serious right now, so all I can think about is Denzel and Fences. Like you. I said I got to like you. I put food in your table, don't I? Put clothes on your back.
Hey, that was
I
a
go to
powerful
work,
line.
I come home, and you talking about like you. I ain't got to like you. What you mean? No, you look at me when I'm talking to you, boy. You put a soul on the end of that.
Hey, he talking the real.
I did everything I could to come home, make sure you was raised right, had a roof over your head. You want to come here and talk about like you. That wasn't my job to like you. My job was to raise you into being a man.
All right.
Hey, having Denzel as a pops would have been wild.
Yeah.
I mean, because like you gotta grow, like you gotta grow with a certain amount of swag. If Denzel is your pops, you have to.
I think his son carries that a little bit in some of the few movies I've seen him in.
Yeah, no, he started on his own. Like he started.
So I first seen him in
Ballers.
Yeah, man, that was a great show, man.
Ballers was a great show, and I didn't know like that was his son at first.
I didn't know
and I was like, there's something familiar about this dude.
The
like,
whole time.
There's something like I liked him, and he had that nice beard too. I was like, man, beard on point. I was like, but yeah. Then I was like, and then I found out that it was Denzel's son, and I was like, why he ain't flaunting that? And then I read more and realized that like he was trying to like do it on his own.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's respectable. But yeah, like the movies he's been in, like he's finding his foot and he's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him.
You see that one on Netflix?
With Zendaya,
yeah,
Maria or something. Yeah, that was pretty good dialogue. I like the dialogue.
Check it out. Yeah.
It's good. I mean, it's kind of dry if you're not into like dialogue and stuff like that. Like, because there's nothing that really happened.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of monologues.
It's a long ass argument.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But it's like quality. Like the cinematography is pretty good. Like the way they move the camera, and like the conversation is really good if you're into that type of thing. But if you're not into that, you're gonna be bored. If you just need action,
I like it. I like
No,
I like watching plays. Like
yeah, it's a play.
Black
It's
Lives
essentially
Matter,
it could be a play.
Yeah.
No, it's dope because I think like to have that level, like I think that's better acting than anything. Like to be able to like be stuck in one scene and like deliver like that and then just be all monologues. Like that was Fences the exact same way. And I just recently watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yeah,
That was such a great movie.
That was, man.
It was dope, and I didn't realize it was the same playwright. Now I want to see all
Yeah.
like I want to see the plays. I want to see all his stuff.
It was emotional too, just to know like that was Chadwick's last movie.
It was so many things happening.
That he
there.
was sick in
Yeah,
it.
you
Like
could.
he's visibly sick in that. Like you can tell.
He's like slimmer. Yeah, you could tell, but he still put on
An amazing
performance.
It was great, man.
And Viola Davis, I mean, man, that woman is incredible.
Yeah, she's doing her thing for sure.
Incredible. Yeah, that movie was like I've been on this whole like Black America like movie, and I've been learning so much going. Like I didn't see that. I saw what was it Last Night in Miami or whatever.
I haven't watched that yet. That's in my queue.
That was good.
That's dope. Somebody said that Malcolm X is a vibe killer. He basically was in the movie. If you see what they said.
What they say, I heard they said it's like listening to J. Cole on a Friday night. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a vibe killer,
Yeah,
but that was good.
You know, we're like, where the hell?
Right. Yeah, they was like, where the hell is Malcolm X? Like, we ain't got no vibes here. Let's talk about like he was there. He was killing the vibes. What was the other one? Billie Holiday versus
Yeah, we just watched that a couple nights ago.
I didn't even-
I got to build myself up to watch that because I already know. I know a lot of her story, and so like I gotta build myself up to watch that.
I didn't know nothing about Billie Holiday, and I did not know how impactful "Strange Fruit" as a song was. Actually, I never even like listened to the lyrics, and I was like, oh, this the description of things that she's describing in such a poetic way. I was like, man, this is dope.
I think, man, it like it's kind of, if you haven't been introduced to like, you know, jazz and all that kind of stuff, it's hard to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
But like really once you do, man, I felt the same kind of way with like blues music too.
Yeah.
But like some BB King, come on, man.
See, I grew up around a lot of like that music. So
me too,
my grandma was like in love with BB King. I listen to a lot of Miles Davis when I write.
Mm-hmm.
And then just African American literature. Like I've had every class that they've had to offer, like at every college. Like I would substitute that for a lot of my other literature classes. And so I would always take every African American literature class that I had. So like African American poetry, like I've taken like all those classes. So like I'm a huge like Langston Hughes and Maya Angelou. Like I got probably about 6 books from Maya Angelou.
But see, that's the thing. Like these are names you hear, and in class or in school, you may have read an insert or an excerpt or something.
Like mainstream.
Yeah, mainstream.
But
stuff.
you don't know the history. When you get into the history behind these people, it is like when you see that movie, it's wild to see how they tried to shut her down.
Yeah.
I watched The Black Messiah. I knew nothing about Fred Hammond.
See, and I know a lot about Fred Hammond. Like I know a lot of Panther history.
Fred Hammond.
That's a gospel scene.
See, I ain't know nothing about Fred Hammond.
Like, I know a lot about Fred Hammond.
Right. That's why he's singing gospel.
Right. Yeah, it's like Fred Hampton, Huey P.
Yeah.
Like all those guys. Yeah, I knew a lot about them. I think one of the greatest conversations about like Black history like that I've ever had. You know who the Last Poets are?
Oh yeah, you told me about I know Last Poets for sure.
So okay, so you know, his last name is Kane. He was in, I want to say Minister Society. He's a lighter skinned guy. You watch Girlfriends, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was a light skinned.
Wait, how you gonna? What was that conclusion? First of all, I was with you on Boys to Men, or no, Boys in the Hood. I was with you in Boys in the Hood, and you gonna take down my manhood and talk about some girlfriends? But yeah, I did see Girlfriends.
He was one of the boyfriends, and I'm trying to think of his name. Khalil Kane.
Yeah, okay. And Juice from Juice.
Yeah, he was in Juice. That's what it was.
Yeah.
His dad is one of the members of the Last Poets.
Oh, okay.
And so I worked on a film, Black to Techno in Detroit, and had a chance to sit with 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had like this dog just sitting around drinking whiskey and just having these conversations about like history and African American literature and poet, and like just the wisdom from that. Like I just felt full, right? Like spirit felt full. And that was probably one of the greatest like history lessons I've ever heard about like Black people and music in general. It was like from them. So remember that Biggie, like Party and Bullshit?
Yeah.
Like that came from like them. Like that was one of their poems, Party and Bullshit. And Biggie used it in the song. And so like they're the pioneers. It's like they're the real pioneers of rap.
Yeah. That's dope.
It is though. I mean, it's dope to see how deep our history is. And we so misinformed about it.
A lot.
Like there's just so many things that we don't know. And I've been like trying to play catch up on my education. Not only for myself, but just, like eventually for my kids. So I can like put some of that game down, or we can watch some of those things together and have those conversations.
That's the thing. Like,
see,
you're not gonna learn about it in school. Like it's just not gonna happen. So, like when you can opt out of Black History Month, it's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So like it's really up to folks in our community to be able to pass some stories down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and encourage and continue learning of all that, because certainly we were everything, but there's a whole history before U.S. slavery and all that kind of stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
And a whole history after too.
And so that's why like I'm very intentional with the movies I watch with my kids, because we're all like big movie buffs, right? Like we have movie nights a lot. Yeah. So like Blackish is one of those shows that we all watch together now. And of course, in Blackish, just a lot of lessons. Oh yeah. And so every time we watch an episode, we sit around and we talk about it and we dissect. Like my son is brilliant. As dingy as he is sometimes, like he's brilliant when it comes to dissecting things and just his comprehension levels. Well, really for the both of my kids, like they have really high comprehension levels. And we talk about movies, and I don't know if you watch like The Winter Soldier and Falcon or whatever on Disney Plus, but like, that deals with a lot. It's strictly race relations, and like the what do they call them? The flags or whatever.
Flag smashers.
The flag smashers. It's comparable to All Life Matter. And so they always talk about one voice, one people, whatever. Every time they say it's a Black issue, they say no, it's an everybody issue, and it's not. But then if it was an everybody issue, they would be doing what's best for everybody. In the same sense that All Lives Matter talks about everybody matters, but they don't try to focus on everybody. They just try to deflect away from Black Lives Matter, and then they do nothing. And so, he learns a lot of lessons, like, like why didn't he want to have a shield? And so that lesson in that, and teaching about like this Tuskegee Airmen and stuff like that, that's literally the same thing as what they did with the other Black soldiers, like Captain America's. And so
what's Black History Month like now for kids? Because like for us, I feel like it's been like kind of a joke, like really. Well, like because I feel like
for me though, like my school, like I had Black principals and I had mostly Black teachers. And
but even with that, like I feel like,
but we had a doctor of African American studies as like our music teacher, so she was very serious about it. So like I remember like we even had like a Swahili class. So like I remember like when I was young, up until like 6th grade, like I can speak like a certain level of like Swahili. So like I knew a lot of the terminology in like Lion King, that's Swahili. Like a lot of the names and stuff that they say is Swahili. So I knew a lot of that stuff as a kid. I mean, I forgot it now because I haven't even thought about it in years. But like I was fortunate enough to learn a lot of Black history as a kid.
But like how deep though, right? Like, because I feel like every Black history or like Black History Month that I've experienced have been like the celebrities of Black history, right? Like the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, the Rosa Parks. Like, you got your 10, 15 people And that's all you hear about. Like you never hear about the even like the celebrities. Like you never hear about like Billie Holiday and like the what made her so significant. You don't hear about the Fred Hampton or any of the Black Panther shit. Like you don't hear none of those things.
That's because white people don't want to accept the fact that they weren't terrorists.
I think a large part is like you mentioned in schools, like it's just really up to those leaders in that school. You know what I'm saying?
And how many schools have enough Black people in charge to say this is what we're going to talk about? And we're not in the position of power to put that in curriculums.
I mean,
you don't have enough Black people in power to say, I'm going to add this to the curriculum.
Yeah. Unless it's like, you know, I don't know schools that are like this, but unless it's like one that's been started that way, you know what I'm saying? Or some of these other academies and stuff like that are kind of popping up now. Unless they have that like embedded in their curriculum, it's not going to happen like that. So like a lot of times it's just really up to the folks that work at that school. So that's why I'm like, man, you can't really. I mean, all education starts at home for sure. So like, but it can't end, you know what I'm saying? It can't end there. My kids, we're not gonna rely on the school they attend or whatever to teach them everything they need to know.
For sure.
Know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to art history.
For sure.
It is just too much at stake, you know what I'm saying, to not educate them about that.
Right. But like, we have the understanding that that's not going to take place, but like there's a huge population in the Black culture who like relies on the school to give them their main education, right? And like, I mean, so they like the school gonna take care of that, but then you don't realize that like, nah, your kid ain't getting everything they need.
Hey, welcome to fatherhood, where you learn the truth that this education system is truly failed us.
I mean, I feel like we've been screwed. Like, I feel like education and, you know, like, I'm a huge proponent of education. My wife's an educator. You know, we all been in the education field at some point. But I feel like the things that are important, and I think this go across the board. Like, I think this go from, like, all the way to collegiate level, right? Like, I feel like education is, like there's these set things that, oh, you need to have this, you need to have this. And then you're like, I'm not even using this shit. Like, give me some finance, like teach me about finance. Like I think that is probably the most important thing that like our youth need to learn that they're not learning right now, which is giving us a huge disadvantage in the world. Like we're coming up with this mindset of thinking that like we need a job, we gotta work, and we put our money in a savings account and we're gonna be set. That's not true though. Like nobody talked to us about, oh no, you need to invest your money. Your money needs to be invested so that you can build wealth. That's the only way you really can build wealth. Nobody tells us that. So we run this hamster wheel until at some point we wake up and it's like, oh shit. But then you miss out. I'm 36 and I just learned about this the last few years, and that's 33 years of life that I'm like the only investment advice I've ever gotten was you need to put your money in the Roth IRA. Like that was the biggest investment. Like Other than that, I'm like, I done lost out on all these years where I could have just been. I've been putting my money in my savings account, getting the 1-2% interest.
If
that, which like shit, I've been wasting. So I think I mean I can go on a whole rant about that, but
yeah, I mean that's real, man. It really just goes to show like. I don't want to say schools don't set you up for success because I had a great experience.
It doesn't.
But like there's so much more that could happen that, you know what I'm saying, that that's just not happening inside most schools. So like when lots of other extracurricular programs are cut or departments are cut, like, you know, even knowing how to cook is a good skill to have. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It can be a whole career. People gonna always eat, you know what I'm saying? Like those kinds of experiences in schools for the most part are like non-existent anymore. Skilled trades class, some of them starting to kind of pop back up because there's like lots of shortages in those areas of skilled people to do those things.
And you know how much money is in skilled trade? Man, it's ridiculous. But again, were we misinformed? Like we pivoted towards the college route, and in some cases, people are like frowned upon when you're like, "Oh, you about to be a plumber or electrician or like, you know how much money these people make?"
Come on, man. Like, so funny story about plumbing, man. I bought this house, had needed a pipe repaired or whatever, just a little PVC that was all clogged up. I didn't know how much at the time, but all my man did was come in. Oh yeah, you got a clog. Cut that out, attach some new ones, run that back, maybe like 6 feet of PVC pipe. And I was like $300. So I'm like, either I just got taken advantage of, or dang, man, I need to learn some other skills, or this is a really good kind of skill to have. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's kind of a simple explanation, but
no, yeah, I get it. I like one thing that I've learned from that, like, because I look at somebody and they'll do something real quick, and it's their profession, right? And they do something real quick, and I was like, I'm paying you for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But then, actually, what opened my eyes to this was we were at a winery, and I was like asking about the wine and the whole process and everything, and like dude took me back like 3 years from the day. He was like, "Yeah, this process, like this bottle, started 3 years ago," and like he take me through the process and like what it took to get to this bottle, and I was like. I'm willing to pay the $50, $75 because like it took 3 years to get to this bottle right here. Like, give me the backstory. Like that makes sense, and I think that's the same way with people's profession. Like, yeah, it took him 30 minutes, 10 minutes, but how many years did it take him to get to that point so that he could do that? Like that's his profession. So now I have mad respect for anybody who like, if it's their profession, they can do something like efficiently and quickly. Like. Yeah, I couldn't have done it that long. So here, I'm gonna cash you out.
As a graphic designer, completely underappreciated. Like it took years for us to get the skills that we do, that we can do stuff so quick. Especially when we're like the triple threat, right? Like we understand marketing, we understand like the social media aspect of it, and we can create all together.
Right.
Like people don't appreciate that. Like, oh yeah, let's do this flyer. Get it to me in 30 minutes. Like. I get it to you in an hour, but I don't know about 30 minutes. But then, like, they hire a firm, and it takes them a long time. It takes them a day to do stuff. And they're like, well, how can you do it? Because I'm good at what I do. And people just don't appreciate that. Like, this is years of learning. Or people that want to do photo shoots for like $50, and just your camera and lens alone is like $3,000.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, that goes for like so many different things. Like, I started a little lawn care business last year, and like just the equipment, the maintenance, the upkeep on that equipment. I mean, like the equipment alone would be $3,000 to $6,000, just depending on like what you got. And people want you to cut their grass for like $25. No, it's not. That's not even worth getting off the bed, man.
I mean, just with photography equipment alone, I easily got $25,000-$30,000 in equipment.
It's crazy, man. Crazy. The amount of investment, that you put into those kinds of things. So,
and that's just the equipment. That's like you said, it's not time and cultivating the skill and the craft to like be good at the thing. Yeah, so like when people undervalue you, and I know this is like completely off topic of what we were talking about, but anyway, I don't care. When people undervalue you, I don't understand when like you give somebody a price, or we will like dilute our price so that it appeals to a certain crowd, right? Like so that we can be cheaper for them. But I'm starting to realize that like if you can't afford the number that I'm giving you, maybe you're not my market, right?
That's
like
it.
Yeah. You're not my market.
Sure.
Like,
but it is right on topic, right? Because people undervalue fatherhood and what men mean to families, what we mean to society, and what we can mean to like the whole structure of everything, right? The patriarch of it. And so it all goes hand in hand.
That's true.
So, man. So that was beautiful.
Yeah, he brought it back in.
I'm America's favorite dad.
He brought it back in.
That's what's up, man.
All right, where we at? Where we at on time? We've been running.
It's been a minute. Yeah,
It's been a minute.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and conclude this bad boy as we have recently always been doing. Let's go with that dad moment of the week.
I got a moment. Let me talk about this because I'm upset. Let me tell you real quick.
Okay.
Because kids are disrespectful. Little mama is rude as hell. My son tried to call me old. And so, first off, I'm not even 35. I'm only 34. And of course, I can play ball. And we went to the park yesterday.
Y'all went hooping?
We went hooping.
Okay.
And you ain't hit nobody up?
All right.
It was just the kids. It was just father son time.
Okay.
He didn't know that I had handles.
Did you cross them up?
Listen, pray for his ankles, pray for his ankles, and pray for his ego because he got both of them handed too. Had him literally looking like the Tasmanian devil out there, putting them in the ring cycle, spinning around. Like, yeah, I didn't know. Like, first off, you've seen me play in tournaments. Like, you've seen me play. Like, maybe you weren't paying attention, but you've been there.
Yeah, that's funny.
I got handles. Like, I'm a true point guard.
That's funny.
Yeah. But he learned yesterday. He learned
today.
He learned.
He learned that day.
So,
yeah.
Okay. Bet. That's a good one. Hey, it's going to last for so long.
Listen, first off, I'm a young dad. I ain't old like y'all. Like,
wait a minute.
You older than him.
But still, I'll be 40. I'll be 42 when my son graduates from high school. How old you gonna be when your youngest graduates?
My youngest, what's she 2 right now?
Exactly.
32.
You're gonna be old.
But it's like 16 years.
Yeah, so in 16 years, how old will you be?
I'll be
50.
No.
48.
No.
Yeah, 48.
48.
I can't count. 48. 16 plus 32.
Yeah. So that's 6 years older than I'll be when I have my youngest.
So?
I mean, when my youngest graduate.
48 is still young.
I'm still sexy.
Yeah.
That's a personal opinion.
48 is still young.
Yeah, I ain't even 50.
Yeah.
Ron Isley he got a 10-year-old.
That's
He's
wild.
90.
Hey, they on Ron right now.
Yeah.
He's about the grays growing the beard.
Right.
They on Ron right now.
Yeah, out here.
Mr. Biggs out here getting it.
Nah, yeah, I only be like 42, 43 when my son
That's cool.
graduates from high school, so I'll still be pretty young.
Congratulations.
Balling on him. Because I ain't gonna be no out of shape. That can't be fat and bald. You gotta choose. You gotta choose, right? I can't do nothing about baldness. I can choose about being fat.
Yeah, no, you're right. You can't be fat and bald.
Yeah.
You gotta work them angles.
Yeah.
I ain't got that problem.
You don't, you blessed.
Yeah.
Podcast over. Thank you guys.
But yeah, so man, my dad moment of the week. So the dad tax your kids.
No, what's that?
So man, the dad tax.
Like you take extra fry out their food?
Yeah, I get a piece.
Oh, yeah.
A piece of pie. You know what I'm saying? Dad tax.
That's law.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Every day, all day.
Yeah.
And so, my kids, my daughter comes like, Daddy, can you give me some? I don't know. She has me like some candy or something like that. But yeah, give it here. Open it. I get my pieces out. I want rip. I want my Uncle Sam out here. I want my cut
you get yours
top.
first, yeah.
And then give her the rest. And she just looks at me like, and what?
Yeah,
I was like, dad tax.
Yeah, my kids only get about 50 to 75% of their Capri Suns whenever they get one. I get it.
I did that this morning. Yeah, you want me to open it? Yeah, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure it's out. You gotta make sure the straw is in.
Yeah, I love the dad tax, man. It's a beautiful thing.
I gotta do some dad tax.
Yes.
My dad moment of the week, probably yesterday at volleyball, there was a lady I haven't seen in like, with the whole COVID thing, she ain't been outside. So I hadn't seen her in probably, actually, I thought it was like a year. And she was like, how's married life? And blah, blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, married life good. I got a kid now, right? She was like, I was like, and she 8 months. And I was like, oh shit, you ain't seen me since like before.
Over a year.
my child was like, even like, what is it? Inseminated, right? Like she didn't even know this. So I was like, is that the word?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Inseminated is
conceived?
like
Conceived, yeah. Conceived. That's the word. My child was conceived.
Don't be out here inseminating kids.
Right.
It's not a good thing at all.
But weren't you a test too? Like,
I think so. So conceived.
Yeah.
And it's taking me, like, I'm starting to get into the mode where like I feel like it's my responsibility when anybody asks me about my kid, I gotta have pictures on deck.
Yeah, you gotta have pictures.
You gotta have pictures on deck. So yeah, I got the phone out and I was, swiping through, and I'm all proud because I tell Pauline to make sure like any pictures that we posting or we got, they gotta be like they gotta be quality. Like I don't want her having
that's
no
the reason y'all
weak-ass
keep
photos.
getting these photo shoots.
Oh yeah, we got to. Like, I mean, they gotta be on point. I don't want her looking
also,
raggedy.
just for the record, I'm slightly offended. I don't even know if I'm like considered your best friend or whatever, but because of the simple fact that I'm a whole photographer and I've never taken a single picture of your baby.
First of all,
matter of fact, I've never even met her in real life.
That's true. That's true.
It's COVID.
I'm just slightly offended. I'm just putting that out there.
No, there's no offense. I'm certain if you were closer in proximity.
Have I always not driven down there?
Hey, I mean, I'll tell Pauline that you want to do the next photo shoots, but she be in her mommy groups, and the lady.
Wait, you gonna tell her or y'all just gonna do it?
Because that's the difference.
No, I'm gonna suggest. I'm gonna suggest that Marcus another option, and then I'm gonna let her make the decision. Shit. Y'all niggas not gonna have me on the couch. I'm sleeping in the bed.
Wear the pants at y'all crib.
Happy wife, happy life. Chris, you know what's up?
I put my foot down.
Okay. Let her walk in here and be like, Chris, let's go home. I bet you gone. I bet you gone. Yeah, actually, I didn't seen it.
I'm gonna go. I mean, I'm gonna go home. But I just get with y'all next time, I'll get with y'all next time. But yeah, man. So
that's what's up.
Good show, fellas. Good show. First one in person. Lovely thing, man. I appreciate y'all. This is great.
This is great. These bright lights got me hot though.
I'm like,
I need y'all to get used to the studio life,
man.
I'm gonna have to put on my lightweight hats. I can't be wearing these fur felt joints. But anyway, thanks for joining us. Till the next time.
Peace.
Deuces.